The year is 1941. The place is the Catherine Palace near Leningrad, Russia. The situation is pure chaos. The German army has just launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in human history. Millions of Nazi soldiers are pouring across the Soviet border, and they have a very specific shopping list. At the top of that list is a single room. It wasn't a room made of wood or stone. It was a room made of amber. 6 tons of it. Amber is fossilized tree resin, glowing like honey and fire. When the sun hit the walls, the entire room looked like it was made of solid light. It was decorated with gold leaf, mirrors, and gemstones. It was so beautiful that people called it the 8th wonder of the world. But as the sound of German tanks grew louder, the Russian curators panicked. They tried to hide the masterpiece, but they ran out of time. What happened next is the greatest heist in history. A treasure worth 500 million was taken, moved, and then it simply stopped existing. This isn't just a story about art. It's a war thriller about greed, secrets, and a mystery that has lasted for over 80 years. A gift of kings. The Amber Room was not originally Russian. It was created in Prussia, modern-day Germany, in the early 1700s by skilled German craftsmen. The walls were covered with thousands of pieces of amber, gold leaf, and mirrors, making the room glow with a warm golden light. From the beginning, it was meant to show power, wealth, and craftsmanship fit for royalty. In 1716, the Prussian king gave the Amber Room as a diplomatic gift to Peter the Great of Russia. The gift was meant to seal a political alliance between the two nations. Peter accepted it, and the room was later installed in a Russian royal palace, where it became one of the greatest treasures of the Russian Empire. For more than 200 years, the Amber Room was a symbol of pride for the Russian Tsars. Visitors called it the 8th wonder of the world, because nothing like it existed anywhere else. It represented both artistic beauty and imperial power. When the Nazis rose to power centuries later, they viewed the Amber Room very differently. Because it had been built by German craftsmen, they believed it was actually German property. In their minds, taking it was not theft. They saw it as reclaiming a lost piece of their own history, an idea that would soon lead to one of the greatest art crimes of World War II. The failed disguise, the wallpaper trick. When the Nazis invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, museum workers and curators rushed to protect the Amber Room. Their first plan was to take it apart and move it far away from the fighting. But they quickly discovered a serious problem. Amber is extremely fragile. As soon as they tried to remove the amber panels from the walls, pieces began to crack and crumble. Moving the room safely was impossible. With no time left, the curators made a desperate decision. If they couldn't move the Amber Room, they would try to hide it in plain sight. They covered the glowing amber walls with ordinary wallpaper and thin wooden boards, hoping the room would look boring and unimportant. The goal was simple: make it invisible to invading soldiers. For a short time, this was their only defense. The curators hoped the Nazis would walk right past the room, never guessing what was hidden underneath. But the plan failed. The German soldiers knew exactly what they were looking for. The Amber Room was famous, and Nazi officials had orders to find it. They quickly saw through the disguise, tore down the wallpaper, and revealed the amber panels beneath. What was meant to protect one of the world's greatest treasures only delayed its discovery and sealed its fate. The 36-hour heist. When Nazi soldiers entered the Catherine Palace, they quickly tore down the wallpaper covering the walls. Behind it, they discovered what they were searching for: the glowing panels of the Amber Room. There was no doubt they had found one of the greatest art treasures in the world. The Nazis did not act randomly. They brought in expert German art historians and specialists who knew exactly how valuable and fragile the room was. Working carefully and efficiently, they began taking it apart piece by piece. Every amber panel, mirror, and decoration was removed with precision. In just 36 hours, the entire room was dismantled. Nearly 6 tons of amber were packed into 27 large wooden crates. What had once been called the 8th wonder of the world was no longer a magnificent room. It was reduced to cargo, ready for transport. The crates were loaded onto a train bound for Germany. In less than 2 days, a masterpiece that had taken years to create and centuries to admire was stripped from its home. The Amber Room, once a symbol of royal beauty and history, disappeared down the tracks, beginning one of the greatest art mysteries of World War II. The castle in Königsberg. The boxes holding the Amber Room were sent to Königsberg, a German city near the Baltic Sea. Today, this city is called Leningrad. When the crates arrived, the amber panels were carefully taken out and put back together inside Königsberg's large castle. The castle became a place to show off stolen treasure. For several years, the Amber Room was displayed for important Nazi leaders and officers. It became a prized trophy for them, showing power and victory. What once stood for beauty and friendship between nations was now used to celebrate war and stealing. As time passed, the war began to go badly for Germany. By 1944, the Allies were getting closer, and Königsberg became an important military target. the castle holding the Amber Room was now in great danger. That year, the Royal Air Force began heavy bombing attacks on the city. Bombs exploded, fires spread quickly, and the castle was badly damaged. As the city burned, no one knew what happened to the Amber Room. Its disappearance became one of the greatest mysteries in history. The final sighting, 1945. In early 1945, the war was reaching Germany's doorstep. The Soviet Red Army was closing in on Königsberg, and defeat was clearly approaching. As the danger grew, the Nazi officer responsible for the Amber Room, Alfred Rode, was ordered to pack it up once again. This moment is where the mystery truly begins. Witness accounts from that time do not agree. Some people later claimed they saw the 27 wooden crates containing the Amber Room being loaded and moved out of the castle, possibly onto trucks or trains to escape the advancing Soviet forces. Others believed the opposite, that the crates were taken down into a deep bunker beneath the castle walls, hidden away for safety. There were no clear records, no confirmed documents, and no photographs to prove what happened next. Soon after, Königsberg fell. The castle was heavily damaged, and Alfred Rode died under unclear circumstances. With him, any definite answers disappeared. That moment in early 1945 marks the last confirmed sighting of the Amber Room. After centuries of history and just a few years in Nazi hands, one of the world's greatest treasures vanished, leaving behind questions that remain unanswered to this day. The Great Fire Theory. When the Soviet army finally took control of Königsberg, the castle was left in ruins and still smoking. After the fighting ended, the Soviet government began a large investigation to find out what had happened to the Amber Room. Many historians believe the Amber Room was destroyed during the fires from the bombings or the final battle. Amber burns very easily, much like coal. If the crates holding the Amber Room were inside the castle, they would have burned out very quickly. But there was one strange problem. When the ruins were searched, no burned amber was ever found in the rubble. There were no ashes, no melted pieces, nothing. This made the mystery even deeper and left people wondering what really happened to the Amber Room. Operation Hidden Mine. After the war, a new theory emerged. People believed the Nazis hid the crates in one of the many secret salt mines or tunnels in Germany or the Czech Republic. The Nazis were famous for hiding stolen gold and art in deep underground bunkers. Over the decades, hundreds of treasure hunters have explored dark, dangerous mines, hoping to find the glowing walls. So far, they have found nothing but empty tunnels. Every expedition fueled the legend even more. Silence underground replaced the promise of treasure. The mystery deepened with every failed search. The sunken ship, the Wilhelm Gustloff. Another popular theory is that the 27 crates were loaded onto a giant German ship called the Wilhelm Gustloff. This ship was trying to evacuate thousands of people and Nazi treasure across the sea. However, a Soviet submarine sank the ship in the Baltic Sea. If the Amber Room was on that ship, it is now sitting at the bottom of the ocean, likely destroyed by the salt water. The sea may have become its final hiding place. War turned priceless art into forgotten cargo. If true, the mystery lies buried beneath cold, dark waters. The Curse of the Amber Room. This mystery has a dark side. Many people who tried to find the room ended up dead under strange circumstances. Alfred Rode, the man who last saw it, died of a mysterious illness before the Soviets could question him. A famous treasure hunter named Georg Stein was found murdered in a forest. A Soviet general investigating the room died in a freak accident. Some people believe the room is cursed, but it's more likely that people were killed because they got too close to a secret that someone still wants to keep. The ghost replicas. Because the original room is gone, the Russian government decided to build a new one. Using old photographs and small scraps of the original amber, it took 24 years and 11 million to recreate the room. It opened in 2003. It is beautiful, but it is a ghost. The original 1706 masterpiece, with its 200 years of history and its 500 million value, remains one of the greatest missing persons cases in the world. The Amber Room was a symbol of beauty in a world filled with war. Its disappearance is a reminder of how much we lose when humanity fights. It wasn't just gold and stone, it was the soul of a palace, stolen by greed and lost in the fog of battle. So, where is it? Did it melt into a puddle of resin during the fire of 1945? Is it rotting at the bottom of the Baltic Sea? Or is it possible, just maybe, that it is sitting in a sealed bunker, hidden behind a false wall in a quiet German town, waiting for someone to turn the light on again? The files remain declassified, the mines remain dark, and the 500 million treasure remains a ghost. If you found a secret map to the Amber Room, would you go looking for it, even with the curse? Let me know in the comments. If you want to join us as we hunt for more lost treasures and World War II secrets, hit that subscribe button right now. History is waiting to be found.